So we've created our first model and textured that model, but now we actually need to work with a game engine to create the interactive elements of our game. You can think of models, images, videos, sound effects, things like that, as all different art assets. And those assets are then pulled together by the game engine. So Unity is our game engine of choice. There's plenty of other options like Unreal, Game Maker Studio, things like that. But we're going to use Unity for this class because it's free and it's a very effective game engine that's been used on thousands of games at this point. So I've gone ahead and opened up Unity. I'm on, at this time, the most recent version, which is a 2018.3 version. And I'm greeted by this Learn page. Yours might look a little different. You might have to sign in and do a couple other things. This Learn page has a bunch of different tutorials, and you can go through these and play around with them. But I'm going to click New and create a new project. And it's going to ask me where to put my project, so I'm just going to toss it to my desktop. I'll have to give it a name. We're going to be using the 3D template, and we're going to disable Unity Analytics. And we can also add asset packages if you have those installed, for instance, the standard asset package. But for now, I'm just going to leave that empty and hit Create Project. It's going to build a folder. Unity projects are essentially just a folder with a series of files within them. Very similar to a Maya project, actually. And it might take a little bit to load, so I'm just going to skip ahead here. And now Unity has opened. Yours might look a little bit different than mine because of the layout. I think the best thing to do is go to the right-hand side and just go ahead and say Revert Factory Settings for your layout so that you're back to normal. The main thing is that there might be like a services panel enabled over here, and you can just simply right-click that panel and close it. So the Unity panel, the Unity layout actually looks very similar to the layout that we have in Maya. We have a viewport right here, which we navigate with almost exactly the same controls that we use in Maya. So using those middle clicks and right clicks and left clicks, that's exactly how you navigate it here. We have what's called the hierarchy over here on the left-hand side. This is kind of like the outliner in Maya. It's going to show us everything in our scene as we start adding elements to this scene. Right now my scene is twirled up. I'm just going to twirl it down right here so I can see what's in it. I have my main camera and a directional light, and we'll get to what some of those elements are a little bit later. I have a few tools up here. These are mostly for navigating the camera. And then I have my project down here, which is where I'm going to pull in my assets. So once we start pulling in things from Maya, we'll pop them into the assets folder down here. The top menu in Unity has a lot of different things in it. We'll be referencing that quite a bit, so just keep that in mind. And within the viewport, as I'm clicking around, I can also hit this play button to actually play my game. So if I hit play, the whole screen will kind of freeze for a little bit, and then it will load this game tab over here. So now I'm in my game and I'm seeing what my game looks like if someone was to open it up. If I go back to my scene tab, I can see what's happening is it's showing me this camera's perspective, and we're in this big empty world, so there's nothing to really see here. Now, an important thing I want to mention right away, because this is probably the most common problem that people have, is that they leave the game in play mode while they edit their project. If you leave the game in play mode and you start messing with things and adjusting things, for instance, I'll come over here and adjust this directional light's color. Whenever I hit play, it's going to reset that and all of my changes will be reversed. I've had students work for hours and then realize, oh, I never actually unchecked the play button because I didn't do that. Everything I just did got erased. So keep that in mind. We're using the play button to test. We hit play, we test our game. We hit play to stop testing our game. The other thing that people run into is they'll hit play and then hit the pause button. The pause button is really used for debugging and for adjusting values and seeing what happens. It's not for actually making edits. This does not stop your game from play mode, and whenever we unpause it, it will revert all the changes again. So that's another way to lose all of your content. So keep that in mind. We're going to be editing the thing. I always just double check that I'm not in play mode, and then I go to play mode when it's time to actually test my game out.